NHL regular season recap night 94. A bunch of games tonight once again on a back-to-back. The first one is the Kraken visiting the New York Rangers, and the Rangers get back on the right side of the win column with this one. 2 goals in the first from Trocheck and Gustafsson, 1 from Eberle. In the second, it's Wheeler and Capo Caco, which is his third of the year. Didn't realize his production has been that quiet. In the third, McCann and Blake Wheeler with his second of the game makes it a 5-2 final. Igor bounces back with a pretty solid game here, too. 29 of 31 for Chris Drieger. A little bit of a rough one. 18 of 22 in the losing effort for the Kraken. The Capitals hosting the Ducks, and this one was a pretty boring game, frankly. Ethan Bear with his first as a Capital, and then Tom Wilson with the empty netter in the third. Darcy Kemper, a 24-save shutout. John Gibson, 26 for 27. A good little goalie duel, but aside from that, not really too much to discuss. A 2-0 win for Washington over Anaheim. The Avalanche visiting the Ottawa Senators, and the Kings of throwing games are back in this one. The Sens at points led 1-0. 2-1, 3-2, and 4-2, but end up losing this one by a final score of 7-4. Batherson and Rantanen in the first, Grieg, Poland, Grieg again, Sanderson, and Rantanen with his second of the game, all scoring in the second. And then in the third, Miles Wood, Sam Malinsky, Logan O'Connor, and Devon Toews all potting one for the Avs. Again, a 7-4 final. Mads Søgaard got the start in this one, not a great night for him. 27 of 33 and 818 save percentage. And young Justus Annunen win the start for Colorado. 36 of 40 for him. It was a bit of a rough start, but he turned things around. A 900 save percentage and the victory for Colorado. The Jets hosting the Islanders, and the Jets get back on the right side of the win column tonight, largely thanks to a very good performance from Connor Hellebuyck, going 35 for 37. Sorokin also very good in this one, 40 for 43, both above a 930 save percentage. In the first, Velarde and Lee, and then in the second, the Jets turn it back on with goals from Neil Pionk and Mason Appleton. Anders Lee makes it interesting just 30 seconds into the third period, but no further goals from the Islanders, and Kyle Connor in his return nets his 18th of the year with the empty netter, making it a 4-2 final. The Jets, I believe, reclaim first place in the league with this victory, kind of bouncing back and forth with Vancouver. Meanwhile, the Islanders continuing to slowly slide down the standings. 10 overtime points still, but 19, 15, and 10 their record. They're now 5th in the Metro Division. The Kings visiting the Stars, and another game tonight in which Cam Talbot's stats slowly start to slide in the wrong direction. He goes just 23 for 28. It was actually a pretty good game for both goalies, but in the third, the wheels really fell off for Talbot. He goes, again, 23 for 28. In the first, it's Hintz and Dadonov. In the second, Doughty makes it a 1-goal game on the power play. But then in the third, it's Johnston, Pavelski, and Sam Steele with the shorthanded goal that really seals the deal for Dallas. Jay Gottinger, the much better of the 2 goalies, 31 for 32. Despite putting more shots on, the Kings are not able to get this one, and I think we're getting to the point where you maybe have to have a discussion about them needing another goalie, because I don't think you can bank on Dave Riddick being the backup behind Cam Talbot, who is clearly starting to struggle a bit through the game load that he's had to this point. The Sharks and Blackhawks facing off in the battle for Macklin Celebrini, and this one delivered in all the wrong ways. Just 1 goal either way in regulation. Both goalies were pretty good, so if you're like me and you like the goalie battle, you at least had that to watch for. Blackwood goes 24 for 25, Mrazek 37 for 38. Once again, he has this game where he's the much busier goalie and somehow ends up with these miraculous numbers. Tonight it's a 974 save percentage for him, a 960 for Mackenzie Blackwood. We go to a shootout that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds, and honestly one of the more wild shootouts I've seen in a bit. Some crazy attempts here by a bunch of guys whose names you probably don't even know. Bunch of pucks sitting right on the goal line, going off posts, off crossbars. Eventually Boris Kachuk pots the game winner for Chicago, costing themselves that battle for Celebrini, but I guess the Sharks will take this one, as will the Blackhawks. 2-1 final for Chicago. The Coyotes and the Flames facing off, and the Coyotes get the first 2 goals of the game in this one, coming in the second and third period from Sean Durzi, short-handed that being, and Logan Cooley with his 4th of the year, also assisted by Durzi. But from there, the Flames knotted up and end up winning it in overtime. Goals in the third from Blake Coleman and Nazem Kadri, and then in the overtime, Yegor Sharangovich with just 17 seconds to play ends up scoring the game winner. Connor Ingram and Dan Vladar both pretty good in this one. Ingram goes 24 for 27. Vladar 30 for 32, one of his better games of the year to this point. Not a whole lot that could be done by Connor Ingram. Paisley wants to say hello in this one. Nonetheless, it's a big win for the Flames, who are continuing to try to climb out of the basement in the Pacific and make an attempt at a playoff spot in the West. Final game of the night, the Leafs taking on the Oilers in what is always a highly contested game. The Leafs looked good early on. Austin Matthews right out of the jump, just 27 seconds in, makes it 1-0. No further goals in the first. In the second, we go all the way through the 11-minute mark before Morgan Riley makes it 2-0 Leafs, and from there it all kind of falls apart. Leon Draisaitl makes it 2-1 before we head to the third, where Darren Ryan, Ryan McLeod, and Evan Bouchard with the empty netter. It's a 4-2 final for the Oilers. Stuart Skinner, 25 of 27. He continues to be one of the better goalies over the last month and a half in the NHL. Martin Jones, pretty good in this one as well. You really can't ask for more from this guy at this point. He goes 28 for 31, just above a .903 save percentage. Again, hard to ask for more than that from what was supposed to be your third-string goaltender, now playing first goalie minutes. But that's going to be it for NHL regular season recap night 94. A surprisingly entertaining night considering some of the games on the slate. But hope you guys enjoyed all of them. We'll talk to you again tomorrow for night 95, where we have just 3 games and they're all kind of stinkers.